Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, my name is Sarah, and in today's lesson, we're going to be learning all about when to use ser or estar. So these two verbs in Spanish, they both mean to be in English, but we have very different situations for when it's appropriate to use each one. So in this lesson, we're going to go over exactly when to use ser and when to use estar so that you can speak Spanish more correctly and confidently. Before we get started, if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn on the notifications so that you can see new videos when they come up every 3 days. Alright, let's get started with the lesson. So to remember what ser is, we have an acronym that you can use for this. It's called doctor. So you can use the acronym doctor to remember when to use the verb ser. And each of the situations in which you would use ser, you can use them for descriptions, so for the D part of doctor, or for occupations, characteristics, time, origin, or relationship. Again, each of the acronyms for doctor. So you can use this to help you remember which situations you should use ser for. And for the verb estar, we have an acronym for estar as well. You can remember as place. So positions, locations, actions, conditions, and emotions. Those are our 5 categories for estar. We're going to go over each of these in depth so you know when to use each one, and when in some cases there may even be a little bit of an overlap or exceptions on when you can use that verb in that context. All right, let's get started with ser. You can use this when we are describing something or a person. So if I wanted to say, I am Sarah, I would be describing myself. Yo soy Sarah. If I wanted to describe you as tall, I would say, tú eres alto. Or I could say, él es americano. And each of these will be describing a person. For an occupation, we would say, for example, ella es maestra, to say she is a teacher. This would be her occupation. Or we could say, let's say we are students. Then we would say, nosotros somos estudiantes. We are students. And another one more example, I could say they are cashiers. That's their occupation. Ellos son cajeros. Now, I can also use ser for characteristics. And for a characteristic, I might say that they are energetic. Those girls are energetic. Ellas son enérgicas. They are energetic. If I wanted to say he is friendly, I might say él es amable. Él es amable. He is friendly. You can use this to describe animals as well. El animal es salvaje. The animal is wild. So these are all characteristics of a person or an animal. These fall under the verb ser. Ser is also used with time. So I can use it for the day of the week, like hoy es lunes, or I can use it for the specific time of the day. Like if it is 1 in the afternoon, then I would say es la una. For it is 1. I might want to be more specific. Like it is 11 o'clock at night, then I could say son las 11 de la noche. Son las 11 de la noche. It is 11 o'clock at night. All right. So the next thing that we use ser for is the origin. If we're talking about, like, if I want to see where I am from, I would say soy de California because I'm from California, and using the verb ser. You can also use it to say what something is made out of. So, for example, my braces, mis frenillos son de metal. My braces are made of metal. Or if I wanted to say, like, the sweater is cotton. El suéter es de algodón. And lastly, for ser, we use it to describe relationships. So if I wanted to say that she is my boss, ella es mi jefa, she is my boss, or maybe they are my friends, and it's a mixture of men and women, they. So I might say, ellos son mis amigos, Or I can say, like, for family, he is my father, él es mi padre. Alright, let's move over to estar. So for estar, the first thing I would use this for is a position of something. So if I wanted to say, like, I am standing, I would say, estoy de pie, I am standing, and that would be estar. Or I could say, she is sitting. Ella está sentada. She is sitting. Or maybe I am lying down, or my noodle is lying down. Ella está acostada. So we also use estar for location, but you have to be careful with this one because there are some exceptions when location is used with ser instead of estar. But with these, we use estar. So I would say, I am here, estoy aquí, I am here. Or I might say, the store is near my house. Then I might say, la tienda está cerca de mi casa. La tienda está cerca de mi casa. The store is near my house. Or you can use this to describe where someone is mentally as well. So if I wanted to say that she is out of it, she's out of her mind, then I might say, ella está en la luna. And if you'd like to see more idioms like this, check out my idioms video. It'll be linked right here, right? And I mentioned some of the exceptions to location. Those are, for example, an event or a party. This is actually used with ser instead of estar, even though it's a location. So if I wanted to say that the party is at this house, I would actually use the verb ser. I would say, la fiesta es en esta casa instead of está. And it's because it is an event or a party. So we just have to remember that the location, if it's a temporary, like I'm going here, she's going there, then it is estar. If it is a more established event, then it is used with ser. And in general, we can remember the difference between these two verbs like this, that if it is more temporary, we usually use estar, and if it is more permanent, then we typically use ser. So the next thing we use estar for is actions. So I might say, like, I am reading this book. Estoy leyendo este libro. Estoy leyendo este libro. I am reading this book. Or I can say, maybe like, you are wasting my time. I would say, estás perdiendo mi tiempo. You're wasting my time. Or this was kind of interesting too. In Spanish, to speak about death, we use the verb estar, even though you might think of death as a permanent thing. I mean, typically you don't come back from that. But in Spanish, we use estar as a temporary state. This is where learning the culture through the language kind of comes in as well, and how they perceive things like death. So to refer to death, to say that someone is dead, you could say, él está muerto. He is dead. We use the verb estar. And conditions. So if you want to describe either a medical condition or your state of being, maybe you are sick or your dog is sick, you can say, el perro está enfermo. And this would be a temporary sickness. If you change it to the verb ser, now you could say, like, maybe your dog has cancer and it's permanently ill, then you could say, el perro es enfermo. He is sick, like he is ill. And the same thing applies to people when you're describing them as well. You could say that he is ill, él es enfermo, he has an illness. Another one to be careful with. So if I wanted to say that she is bored, I would say, ella está aburrida. But if I use ser, it would actually mean she is boring. So I want to be very careful with these to say what I mean. I want to say, ella está aburrida, because she is bored. I don't want to say, ella es aburrida, because then I would be insulting her and telling her that she's boring. And the last part of estar is emotions. So you can describe how you're feeling, again, a temporary state, how you're feeling. Yo estoy emocionada. I am so excited. Estoy emocionada. Or maybe the opposite, he is angry. Él está enojado. Él está enojado. He is angry. Or maybe there are multiple of us and we are sad. Then I would say, nosotros estamos tristes. Nosotros estamos tristes. Alright, so what you should take away from this lesson is that we use ser when we are describing for the most part, a permanent state. Something that is not changing, or describing something or a person, we use ser. If it is describing something that is more fluid, something that changes, then we use estar. Alright, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.